So I've been making videos on things that I couldn't really find information on back whenever I was trying to make a decision about something. And one of those things was using a Toyota Sequoia as a tow vehicle. There's a lot of opinions around it, but finding out, just what people expect, what they use them for, I wasn't really able to find a whole lot. So I wanted to give a little bit of insight of what we've used ours for and our experience with it. So let's take a look. So we had this was a 30-foot Jayco, small camper. Didn't have any slide outs. I think 4,500 unloaded vehicle weight rating and a 6,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating that I've been towing with my grandfather's Tundra. Whenever he'd let me borrow it, we wanted to get a car of our own. We wanted to get something too that would be a good daily driver with a lot of extra room in it. Had to search around forever, but I ended up finding one that was a one owner SR5. Gosh, I guess we got it about 3 years ago now. It had 160,000 miles at that point, I believe, and now we're at 220,000 miles. We've used it to tow to Florida twice with that 6,000 pound camper. My general opinion is that it tows up to 6,000 pounds really well with this 5.7 liter V8. It makes plenty of power. The transmission has plenty of speed to run. Plenty of room. We went up Sam's Gap, 6,000 pounds, held 70 mile an hour, no problem. Went through several huge storms in Florida, downpours, awful winds. I know that it can get worse, but it handled it like a champ. Never really felt all that squirrely. I mean, once you go up to like a 3/4 ton or full ton truck, like our F350 back there that we've upgraded to now, it doesn't move the car around as much. The gross vehicle weight rating of this Sequoia is actually the same as the unloaded weight rating of the 350 over there, a single rear wheel. So I would say 6,000 pounds is about what you can do on it with no problem. Once you get up to about 7,000 pounds, we'd tried a camper that we had bought, a Grand Design. It had one tip out. I think it weighed in at 7,000 pounds. I took it across the scales. It struggled to keep up. It could still run up hills pretty well. You run out of payload though at that point. So we were fully loaded, gas, me, the wife, kids, car seats, 3 dogs, and a power wheel on the back of the thing, with other just like little knickknacks and stuff. We were 200 pounds over the gross vehicle weight rating of it, which isn't all that atrocious, so I wasn't all that worried about it. We only towed to Pigeon Forge, about an hour and a half, 100 miles or so, and it did fine with that amount of load on it. So I would say you just be careful when you get between that 6,000 to 7,000 pound range. You're going to start to run out of payload at that point. One reason I wasn't so worried about it, just for a short term, is when we bought this thing, I knew for sure that I wanted to tow in it. And the SR5 does not have the airbag suspension in the back, so it won't automatically level for you and stiffen up the back. So I went ahead and got these Michelin light truck tires. So they have a couple extra plies on them. The weight rating is quite a bit more, heavier duty tire, so you get less flex with the sidewall. It makes for a rougher ride, but at the same time, I'm not so worried about having a blowout with the tires. I know they can handle more weight than the Sequoia can in general, so I felt a little bit better about having those. It's technically rated to tow 9,000 pounds according to the manual. That was before it was compliant to the towing standard, the modern one that the Society of Mechanical Engineers use. So I wouldn't recommend going above that 7,000 pound mark, and just be really calculated in how you do it. Take into account the number of adults, the number of dogs, the amount of stuff that you're going to have inside of it. This one, let's see, 1,200 pounds is your payload rating on this one. So it's a little bit less, maybe like 400 pounds less than a Tundra typically is, but it gets the job done in general for a small travel trailer. We got lucky with this one. The previous owner had put leather seats in it, even though it's an SR5, and had put a DVD system in it, so we got a lot of the creature features of a limited or a Platinum with the SR5 trim. As far as towing goes, it does a very good job. The all-wheel drive system is very good as well. When you get back here, like hooking it up and everything, the tow chains are easy to hook up. It's just a 2-inch receiver, so yeah, no problems there. I wish it had a camera. That's the only thing that it didn't have. With it being a 2010, you can find these where, I mean, just looking at it, they didn't change the body style much at all between the refresh, and I want to say that was around 2010, and the newer one when they just came out. So you can get a Tundra or a Sequoia that's really quite capable. It's a good everyday driver with a ton of room in the back. The gas mileage is atrocious, but other than that, it makes for a very good tow vehicle. I would totally recommend it. And that I would say too, as far as like steering goes, it gets kind of, it has a shorter wheelbase than a Tundra by, I want to say it's 10 inches or so. It turns extremely well. So I mean, you can get the camper in and out of tight places easier with this as a tow vehicle. At the same time too, the steering is pretty tight, like it moves pretty quickly. So you got to be like a little bit careful when you're on the interstate. It gets a little squirrely if you yank the steering wheel too far one direction or the other. You feel stuff move around a little bit more. Semis will push you around some, but it's not so much that it's dangerous or that you're like risking your safety or your family's safety. You just have to be careful, be aware of your surroundings, pay more attention. But other than that, it's been a great tow vehicle. It's been a great daily driver. The kids have a ton of room. There's a ton of room in the back, so even just going on vacation, if you just need extra room to haul all your stuff around, I can totally recommend it. And you can pick one of these up for very little money. The 5.7, I think people, you know, give it lots of accolades. So it can go 300,000 miles, I think, is what people normally say at least before it croaks. So totally recommend. It's been a great tow vehicle. Can't say anything negative about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comments below. Like or subscribe. I'll continue to make videos about things that we have purchased or things that I could not find a very good review video on back whenever I was making consideration. But thank you. Have a good day.